Life will never go the way you expect. People will disappoint you, plans will fail, and circumstances will change in an instant. Most of us spend our lives fighting it, frustrated, angry, and restless. But what if you could stop resisting reality and remain calm no matter what happens? In this video, you'll discover 7 Stoic practices for unshakable acceptance. These are the techniques Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus used to turn suffering into strength, loss into wisdom, and chaos into clarity. By the end, you'll know how to focus on what you can control, let go of what you cannot, and embrace life fully, with calm, clarity, and purpose. Number 1. Control the only thing you can. The foundation of Stoicism rests on one profound truth. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. Epictetus began his Enchiridion with these very words: some things are up to us, and some are not. This single insight has the power to end half of your suffering immediately. What's within your control? Your judgments, your choices, your actions, and your attitude. What's not? Other people's opinions, external events, outcomes, and the passage of time. Most of our pain comes from confusing the two. You can't control whether someone loves you, but you can control how you love. You can't control if people misunderstand you, but you can control how clearly you speak. You can't control what happens, but you can control your response to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." That isn't denial. It's discipline. The Stoics didn't ignore pain. They refused to give it power. Acceptance begins when you stop fighting what's outside your command and start mastering what's inside it, your own mind. The more you practice this, the more your peace becomes untouchable. This notion seems easy, but you have to practice it every day to live it. The universe is always trying to get you to respond, whether it's to complain, protect yourself, or try to take control of something that isn't there. But the Stoic knows that power comes from being different, not from being in charge. The skill to clearly tell what is yours and what isn't. Epictetus told his students that the route to serenity is narrow, and to go there, you have to let go of the illusory sense of control you have. You can't walk lightly if you have to carry everything, like your friend's view, your boss's approval, and your family's expectations. Letting go is necessary for freedom. Seneca remarked, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." Your focus is the same way. You lose the ability to master what you can when your energy is spread out among things you can't control. The mind becomes uneasy, weak, and easily disturbed. But when you take that attention back, when you put it back into your thoughts, reactions, and effort, you become strong in silence. Picture a ship going through choppy waters. The captain can't change the wind or the waves, but he can change the sail, the rudder, and where he looks. The smart captain changes his course, while the stupid skipper curses the water. That change is Stoicism. It is a silent choice to let go of what you can't control and take charge of what you can. Marcus Aurelius had to deal with allies who betrayed him, generals who disobeyed him, and a sickness that spread throughout his empire. But his notebooks, which he wrote when he was alone and in pain, show calmness instead of pandemonium. He said you have control over your mind, not over things that happen outside of it. If you understand this, you will be strong. For him, the empire he really ruled was inside. We don't govern Rome, but we do rule something far bigger, our own inner kingdom. Your reason makes every thought, choice, and behavior. You give over your throne to emotion, impulse, and terror when you give up control of that. But life can't break you when you stand up for it and take charge of your own life. The Stoics said this was like shooting arrows. You can get the bow ready, steady your hand, aim and let go. But once the arrow leaves, fate takes over. You can't control the wind, the target's movement, or the air. For the Stoic, though, success was never about hitting the mark. It was all about getting the release right. The process is what makes you win, not the result. The same goes for life. You can study, work hard, love profoundly, and do the right thing, but you still don't know what will happen. The Stoic does not falter when the outcome deviates from the anticipation, as his tranquility was not contingent upon the conclusion. His peace is found in the work, the discipline, and the deed itself. Seneca said, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." In other words, only people who think they have control over life are surprised when it doesn't go their way. The intelligent guy knows that things will go wrong, accepts the turmoil, and keeps going without stopping. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about the world. It means you should care in a smart way. Take care of the things you can change: your habits, your thoughts, and your good qualities. Don't worry so much about things that will always change, like opinions, recognition, or luck. Let's bring this up to date. What if you put something online and people don't like it? Most individuals spiral, going on and on about why they are right. But what would a Stoic do? He would understand that he can't control what other people say, what's inside, his honesty, his ability to see things clearly, and his choice to not be bothered. He might listen if the criticism is wise, but he wouldn't give up peace for approval. Or think about how hard you work and still not get noticed at work. You can control the quality, consistency, and professionalism of your job, but you can't control how others reward or acknowledge it. The Stoic doesn't want things to be fair. He wants them to be the best. Recognition comes from outside. Mastery is something you do on your own. You start to move with nature's rhythm when you stop trying to make the world do what you want. You understand that peace is not achieved through distorting reality, but through harmonizing with it. Epictetus once said, "Don't try to make things happen the way you want them to. Instead, wish for things to happen the way they do, and your life will go smoothly." This is the skill of inner alignment, which is the key to being able to accept anything. Every morning, tell yourself, things won't go as planned today. People will do things that don't make sense. Things will change. But none of that can bother me unless I let it. The Stoics schooled their brains to stay strong in the face of life's volatility by doing this mental repetition. Every morning, Marcus Aurelius did this. He would say to himself, "When you wake up in the morning, remind yourself that the people you will deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, jealous, and surly." He didn't say this to be cynical. He said it to keep his cool. The belief that things will go wrong makes you stronger. When life gets tough, someone hurts your feelings, or plans fall through, stop and ask yourself the Stoic question: is this within my control? If the answer is yes, act with reason. If the answer is no, take it with grace. Every time you do this, your mind gets calmer, your reactions get more measured, and your feelings get more obedient. The pandemonium surrounding you loses its hold over time. You start to embody what Epictetus termed inner freedom, which is when your peace doesn't depend on what happens, but on your beliefs. You begin to realize that nothing outside of you can control you when you stop holding on to it. The essence of control lies not in the subjugation of others, but in the mastery of oneself. And when you learn to control yourself, you realize that the storms of life aren't meant to kill you. They're meant to test how strong your anchor is. When you abide by this law, when you really only control what you can, your acceptance becomes unshakable. Number 2, see everything as training. Every challenge you face in life is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and calmer. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." To the Stoic, life was a gymnasium for the soul. Every hardship was training for virtue. When life pushes you down, it's not punishing you, it's preparing you. Each frustration tests your patience. Each insult tests your ego. Each loss tests your capacity to let go. Epictetus compared adversity to a skilled trainer in the arena of life. He said, "The true man is revealed in the hour of trial. When it is hard, that is when he shows what he is made of." So, when things don't go your way, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this teaching me?" Acceptance means reframing pain as practice. It means realizing that no matter what happens, there's always something to gain. Strength, clarity, humility, or wisdom. Even Marcus Aurelius, while facing betrayal, illness, and war, wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle is a chance to refine your character. That's not just philosophy, it's power. The Stoics knew that problems are not a break from life. They are life itself. Life tests the mind in the same way that a blacksmith tempers steel with fire. Every time you have a hard time, it's like a hammer sculpting your character. If you try to resist it, you can get bent or broken. To accept it is to become stronger, sharper, and more durable. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, and suffering tests brave men." Every insult, every defeat, and every time you feel let down is a test of how strong you are inside. Life will always throw you curveballs. The question is whether you will face them with grace and dignity. Think about how little things that bother you every day might help you grow. An unpleasant comment from a coworker, a late delivery, or a traffic jam. These are not just little things that bother you. They help you learn how to be patient, see things from many angles, and manage yourself. Epictetus told his students to embrace these times, saying, "He who is brave is free, he who is patient is powerful." You may build up your strength to handle bigger problems by being calm when small ones bother you. In his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius always reminded himself that terrible times are opportunities for progress. He wrote, "The thing that stops action moves action forward. What is in the way becomes the way." Every barrier, every challenge, and every resistance in life is a chance to grow in ability, wisdom, and strength. The hard part isn't a detour, it's the way. This way of thinking turns suffering into a planned activity. You learn to question, how can I use this moment to make my mind stronger, instead of, why me? Every challenge shows you where you need to improve by showing you how you are doing right now. Humility comes from knowing what you can't do. Clarity comes from addressing confusion, and courage comes from facing fear without flinching. The best thing about this method is that it moves the center of control inward. You can't change what happens, but you can change how you react. This is where the power is, and no one can take it away. The more difficult the trial, the more chances there are to practice mastery. In this situation, acceptance is a discipline, not giving up. You stop wasting energy fighting the inevitable when you see hardship as training. You accept the process because you know that life is not a problem to be addressed, but a gym where you can build strength, wisdom, and virtue. Even times when you fail, are turned down, or are betrayed, things that might seem like the worst things that could happen are really lessons in disguise. Marcus Aurelius dealt with treachery and political unrest, but he remarked, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." The lesson is clear. The importance of an experience is not in what happens to you, but in how you take it in. This implies having an attitude where every problem is a chance to get stronger. When people criticize you, view it as a chance to be humble and think carefully. When things don't go as planned, use it as a time to learn how to be flexible and patient. When life gets too much, think of it as a chance to make your determination stronger. You may turn problems into friends by seeing life as a series of lessons. You stop being afraid of hard things and start seeing them as important teachers. You learn to accept things as they are because you know that every event, good or bad, is a lesson in life. Seeing everything as training is more than just a philosophical idea. It's something you do every day. It teaches your head to be calm in tough times, your heart to stay calm in chaos, and your soul to stay quiet when things can't be altered. Every challenge is a chance to get better at anything. and every day is a chance to build the most essential muscle of all, your own character. Number 3, live in alignment with nature. To live in harmony with nature is to understand that life unfolds according to laws far greater than your desires. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught that virtue, and therefore happiness, comes from living in accordance with nature. But what does that mean? It means aligning your expectations with reality. It means understanding that everything changes, that loss is part of existence, that pain is part of growth. It means accepting that the universe doesn't bend to your will. It operates through balance, through order, through what must be. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Whatever happens is natural. It is woven into the pattern of destiny." The Stoic learns to stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and instead says, "This was meant to happen, and it's my duty to respond well." When you're aligned with nature, you don't fight the rain. You adapt. You don't curse the winter. You prepare. You don't resist endings. You embrace them as necessary for new beginnings. Acceptance becomes not a reaction but a rhythm. You move with life instead of against it. That's the Stoic definition of peace, harmony with the flow of existence. To live in harmony with nature, you have to observe the world as it really is, not how you want it to be. The Stoics noted that a significant portion of human misery arises from opposing the inevitable, battling the unchangeable, or striving to manipulate reality to conform to individual preferences. Zeno said that the universe's inherent order is logical, steady, and has a purpose, even when it looks harsh or uncaring. The Stoic mind learns to go with the flow of life instead of fighting it when it understands this. Seneca wrote in his letters that he is most powerful who has power over himself. You can escape the turmoil that traps most people by acknowledging the patterns of life and working with them. You don't waste energy being angry, frustrated, or disappointed anymore. Instead, you save it for things you can control, like action, virtue, and growth. To live in harmony with nature, you also have to know that everything is temporary. Rivers shift course, empires crumble, and loved ones die. If you don't accept this truth, you'll always be scared and disappointed. To accept it is to walk with elegance, to love what is now, and to face ends with strength. Marcus Aurelius says, "Loss is nothing more than change, and change is nature's joy." The universe is continually moving, and you can't find serenity by stopping the flow. You have to learn how to swim with it. To be in harmony with nature, you also need to comprehend human nature. People will do what they want to do, not what you want them to do. The Stoic does not get angry or resentful when someone lies to, insults, or disappoints them. He thinks instead, "This is how they act. I can't control it." You can avoid unneeded pain by keeping your judgment separate from what is happening around you. To live in harmony with nature, you need to plan ahead and be ready, not just give up. You understand that change is a part of life and that seasons and cycles are important. Instead of cursing the weather, you get ready for winter. You deal with tough times by making plans and working hard in a calm way. Epictetus said, "It's not the events that bother us, it's how we see them." You may expect the ups and downs of life without dread or frustration if you align your expectations with reality. This technique also helps you be thankful. You stop taking life for granted when you realize that every time, situation, and person you meet is part of the natural order. You start to see the beauty in everyday things, the value in hard times, and the meaning in things that appear random. Nature is not an enemy to fight against. It is a teacher from whom to learn, a guide whose rules give order, meaning, and clarity. In this way, acceptance turns into an active way to live. You are not just watching the cosmos happen, you are a part of it. You do what you can, accept change with strength, and deal with problems with reason and virtue. The core of Stoic tranquility is not the absence of problems, but the presence of harmony with reality. When you learn to live in harmony with nature, Acceptance becomes a natural part of your life instead of something you have to work hard at. Life doesn't surprise you with pointless pain anymore. Instead, every moment is a lesson, every struggle is a teacher, and every change is a chance to grow. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly when he said, "Adapt yourself to the life you have been given, and truly love the people with whom destiny has surrounded you." You start to act with clarity instead of confusion, with purpose instead of frustration, and with calm instead of resistance when you accept the way things are. Your mind becomes a quiet harbor, your choices are well thought out, and your actions are in line with the flow of the universe. The Stoic way to unwavering acceptance is to live in peace with the world, find freedom in following nature's principles, and stay calm even when life gets tough. Number 4, master the art of letting go. The Stoics were masters at letting go because they understood the nature of attachment. What you cling to controls you. Epictetus gave a striking metaphor. When you kiss your child, say to yourself, "Tomorrow you may die." He didn't say this to inspire coldness, but gratitude. To remind you that everything you love is borrowed, not owned. Seneca echoed, "He who is brave is free." And freedom to the Stoics came from detachment, not from indifference, but from perspective. You can love deeply, but without possession. You can work passionately, but without obsession. You can hope for success, but without dependency. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that everything changes. Soon you will have forgotten all things, and all things will have forgotten you. Not as despair, but as a call to cherish the present without grasping at permanence. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means no longer breaking yourself over what cannot stay. Acceptance blooms when you stop forcing outcomes and start trusting that what leaves was never truly yours to keep. Letting go is something you have to do every day, not just once. The Stoics taught their minds to let go of things, people, and outcomes that are always changing. This doesn't mean living without concern or passion. It is living with the knowledge that everything is temporary. Every moment, every connection, and every triumph is only for a short time. Knowing this fact will help you break the cycle of worry, fear, and disappointment. Epictetus said that we often suffer because we hold on to things that can't stay. He said, "Don't expect things to go your way. Instead, hope they do, and you'll be fine." When you let go of the idea that things will always be the same, you start to accept them. You get your power back when you stop worrying about things you can't change. You stop wasting energy on fighting and start putting it into what really matters: your character, your choices, and your freedom of mind. Think about your relationships. We love other people by nature, but attachment can make us unhappy. The Stoic way is to love completely, without trying to own or dominate. The pain is lessened when someone goes or things change, not by numbing it, but by changing how you see it. You are thankful for what was, okay with what is, and let go of what can't stay. Marcus Aurelius said, "Loss is nothing but change, and change is what nature loves." When you let go, you go with the flow of nature, knowing that holding on is against the way things are meant to be. This principle is also true for success and ambition. Even if you strive hard to reach your goals, you can never fully control the results. The Stoic does not give up on effort. Instead, he improves it. He works hard, is disciplined, and is brave, yet he doesn't tie his happiness to the results. Seneca said, "The poor man is not the one who has too little, but the one who wants more." When you let go of too much want, you may act freely and focus on the process instead of the reward. Even the way we think and feel can be practiced. Anger, anxiety, and jealousy frequently arise from attachment to pride, to expectations, or to perceived injustices. You diminish their hold on you by seeing them without holding on to them. You let them go by like clouds in the sky, which clears and calms the mind. The Stoics taught themselves to perceive emotions as signs instead of rulers. They made choices based on reason, not on impulse or attachment. Letting go is an art that helps you be grateful and present. You start to enjoy the transitory beauty of life when you stop trying to hold on to it. A discussion, a sunrise, or a moment of laughing are all treasures since they don't last long. Epictetus said, "A smart person doesn't cry over what they don't have. Instead, they are happy with what they do have." Letting go also helps you become stronger. Life will take things from you, like friends, chances, health, and comfort. You may deal with loss with serenity instead of despair if you learn to let go. Acceptance doesn't come from giving up. It comes from realizing that nothing that left was ever really yours to retain. You may invest deeply in life without worry because you know that your inner calm doesn't depend on things lasting forever. In the end, learning how to let go means accepting what is genuine, being thankful, and defending your independence. It is the basis for real acceptance. You have power over your mind, not outside events, remarked Marcus Aurelius. You will discover strength if you understand this. Letting go of what can't stay gives you the peace, clarity, and strength you need to live life to the fullest, without fear, without holding on, and without losing yourself. Number 5, turn your focus inward. When the outer world spins out of control, the Stoic turns inward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." He believed that peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the discipline of your perception. Epictetus reinforced this. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The Stoic mind is like a fortress, calm, observing, rational. When people insult you, the Stoic asks, does their opinion define me? When things go wrong, he says, can my mind still stay steady? Seneca encouraged self-reflection every night. He wrote, when the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day, reviewing my words and deeds. This practice kept his soul anchored no matter how chaotic life became. Acceptance grows when you master the inner dialogue. When you stop trying to silence the world and start mastering your own thoughts about it. The basis of Stoic resilience is turning inside. The world is unpredictable. People do things that don't make sense, things change without warning, and things don't always turn out the way we want them to. If we rely on these outside influences to keep us at peace, we will never be able to hold on to it. The Stoics knew that the mind is the only place where we can always stay in control, and that is where true stability comes from. Marcus Aurelius thought about the power of perception every day and reminded himself that things that happen outside of him are neutral. The only way they make sense is through the judgment we give them. He wrote, "Don't choose to be hurt, and you won't feel hurt." By looking inside themselves, the Stoic builds a mind that can't be shaken and sees things without being controlled by them. Your thoughts affect how you see the world, and by improving them, you improve your life. One of the most important parts of this practice is self-examination. Seneca said that every night you should ask yourself, did I act with reason, virtue, and temperance today? You can find times when you're weak, impatient, or distracted by delving within and then gently correcting them. This is not harsh self-criticism, it's controlled reflection. It helps the mind become stronger, calmer, and more in line with what is really important. Epictetus said that the only things that are really yours are your thoughts, decisions, and goals. When things outside of you threaten to bother you, stop and ask yourself, is this something I can control, or does it belong to someone else? As you keep exercising this difference, you start to see that much of your suffering doesn't originate from the events themselves, but from how you choose to see them. Turning inward also involves having a conversation with yourself that helps you stay calm. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you're scared, angry, or frustrated. Are your thoughts logical? Are they based on virtue? Are they helpful? A Stoic teaches the mind to respond on purpose, instead of reacting without thinking. As you learn to face problems with reason instead of resistance, acceptance rises. This behavior also applies to relationships. Your first instinct may be to retaliate when someone insults or provokes you. The Stoic stops and thinks, does their opinion of me define me? Can I stay calm? You stay clear from avoidable pain by putting your own feelings ahead of what other people think. Meditation and thinking become your friends. Take time every day to look at your thoughts without judging them. Recognize your feelings, but don't let them control what you do. Epictetus said that the mind is like a ship's captain. The water may be stormy and the wind may change, but the captain's focus and direction decide whether the ship stays on course. This interior focus changes how you see the world over time. You quit letting little things or things you can't control get to you. You discover peace in the middle of chaos, clarity in the middle of confusion, and stability in the middle of change. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. If anything outside of you is bothering you, the pain is not because of the thing itself, but because of how you see it, and you can change how you see it at any time. In the end, looking inside yourself is the key to mastering yourself. Acceptance does not stem from muting the external world, but from mastering the mind that perceives it. When you learn to watch your thoughts, think about your actions, and act with reason, your mind becomes a safe haven where peace, clarity, and wisdom can grow, no matter how crazy things are outside. Number 6. Practice Amor Fati. Love your fate. Beyond acceptance lies a higher level of peace, the Stoic practice of Amor Fati, or love of fate. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." The Stoic doesn't just accept fate, he uses it. Every difficulty becomes fuel for strength. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every event becomes part of the path. Seneca said, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." To resist fate is to suffer twice, first from the event itself, and then from your refusal to accept it. Amor Fati teaches you to walk willingly with life, not be dragged by it. Even pain can become sacred when you learn to see it as necessary. Nietzsche, deeply inspired by Stoicism, said, "My formula for greatness is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." This mindset transforms suffering into strength. You stop asking, "Why did this happen?" and start saying, "How can I use this?" Amor Fati turns victims into creators. It's the alchemy of turning pain into purpose. When you can say, "I love whatever happens because it shapes me," you have achieved true acceptance. Amor Fati is not just accepting things as they are, it's actively embracing life as it happens. The Stoic doesn't just put up with things, he accepts them, even the hardest ones, as necessary aspects of his journey. When bad things happen, the Stoic asks, "How can I use this to get better?" He sees problems as chances, failures as lessons, and pain as learning. Marcus Aurelius often told himself that life doesn't care about you. It's neither good nor bad, but it becomes significant when you go with the flow. He wrote, "Everything that happens, happens as it should, and if you pay close attention, you will see that this is true." You cease fighting against what is going to happen when you accept this. Resistance just makes suffering worse. Acceptance turns it into something that helps you grow. Seneca said that the unwilling mind is what causes unneeded pain. He wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." People who fight back get stuck in anger, remorse, and frustration. People who accept life, even when it's hard, find freedom, strength, and clarity. Amor Fati is choosing to walk with life, to make your desires fit with reality, and to see every moment as a chance to do good. This is something you can do every day. A change in your plans, a fight with a buddy, or an unexpected loss can all teach you something. You stop cursing your circumstances and start looking for what each moment has to teach you when you love your fate. You turn what could be seen as suffering into a goal, and what could be seen as bad luck into skill. Nietzsche summed up this Stoic knowledge centuries later when he remarked, "My formula for greatness is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." To get your power back, you have to love life as it is and not want it to be different. The mind that fights life is a slave. The mind that accepts it is free. Amor Fati also helps people be thankful. When you think of every problem, loss, or obstacle as a gift, your point of view changes. You start to see the benefits that aren't obvious, the lessons that aren't obvious, and how even pain can change who you are. Instead of burning you down, the fire of hardship makes you stronger, smarter, and more brave. This kind of thinking changes both how you react to life and how you live it. Life stops being a sequence of random events or wrongs. Every situation, good or bad, is a brushstroke in the great work of art that is your life. When you love your fate, you are in sync with the cosmos, which lets life flow through you instead of against you. When you make Amor Fati a part of your daily life, acceptance grows. Every morning, say to yourself, "I will fully accept whatever happens today. I will find what is useful, learn, and grow." This everyday practice teaches the mind to stop fighting and start making things. In the end, the best way to accept things is to practice Amor Fati. It's not enough to just get by in the world. You have to do well in it. When you can say, "I love whatever happens because it shapes me," you enter the rare state of pure Stoic freedom. This is an inner fortress that is not affected by circumstances, is directed by reason, and is made stronger by the exact problems that earlier threatened to shatter you. This is the magic of the mind, turning resistance into strength, frustration into focus, and pain into strength. Every problem teaches us something, every loss shows us the way, and every incident helps us shape our souls. You don't fight life anymore when you adore your fate, you dance with it. Number 7, meditate on impermanence. Everything you see, everything you love, everything you fear, it's all passing. The Stoics meditated on this truth not to be grim, but to live more fully. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Take what's left and live it properly." This wasn't nihilism, it was urgency. Epictetus advised, "When you are delighted with anything, remember that it is only for a moment." This realization teaches gratitude without attachment. Seneca wrote, "We are dying every day. Each day a little of our life is taken from us." But instead of fear, he used this awareness to live more consciously, to speak more kindly, and to act with integrity. When you meditate on impermanence, you stop clinging. You realize that beauty exists because it ends. Love becomes richer because you know it's fleeting. Every moment becomes precious because you know it will never return. Acceptance becomes your natural state, not something you strive for, but something you understand. Meditating on impermanence is not intended to induce despair, but to foster insight. The Stoics thought of life as a short trip, where every person you meet, every joy, and every hardship is only temporary. The mind gets sharper, the heart gets lighter, and the spirit gets braver as you see this reality. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter, and instead focus on what does: virtue, presence, and purpose. Marcus Aurelius often told himself that the future is unknown and the present is short. Don't act like you're going to live for 10,000 years. You are about to die. Be good while you live and while you can. The Stoic thinks about how short life is and acts with purpose, gratitude, and care every day. There is a sense of urgency in impermanence, not panic. We need to live intelligently, talk compassionately, and behave with integrity. Epictetus said that we don't own anything permanently, neither our things, our loved ones, our health, or our reputation. Don't try to make things happen the way you want them to. Instead, wish for them to happen the way they do, and your life will go smoothly. By internalizing this, you let go of your connection to results and focus on what you can really change: your ideas, your choices, and your character. The Stoic understands that impermanence teaches us to be grateful, patient, and accepting. Seneca's thoughts on death were clear and useful. We die every day. Each day we lose a little bit of our life. This regular recognition does not induce dread, it fosters present. When you think about how things don't last, you pay more attention to what you do, what you say, and how much each interaction means. You start to put more value on substance than on small things, depth than on distractions, and honesty than on pretending. Gratitude also grows when things are temporary. You learn to enjoy life to the fullest when you know that every moment is different and will never happen again. A grin, a talk, or a sunset are all special since they don't last long. You may enjoy love more when you know that nothing lasts forever. The Stoic does not clutch in fear, but nurtures in awareness, understanding that this attention transforms ordinary moments into remarkable ones. When you accept that things won't last, acceptance becomes easy. You don't fight the natural flow of things starting and ending anymore. Loss, change, and uncertainty are no longer foes. They are always with you. Marcus Aurelius said, "Always remember that everything happens because of change, and get used to the idea that the universe loves nothing more than to change." You align with reality instead of fighting against it when you think about this. This practice also helps you become more resilient. When things go tough, you remember that nothing lasts forever. Not pain, not suffering, and not bad luck. Every problem is temporary, and every time you feel bad, you have a chance to improve. You may calm your mind, let go of worry, and lower your anxiety by thinking this way. Epictetus said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." Knowing that things don't last forever makes your response stronger and lets you act with purpose and clarity. In the end, thinking about impermanence changes how you live. Life is no longer something to hold on to or control. It's a river to go with. Every moment is a chance to do the right thing, love truly, and be grateful. Acceptance is no longer something you want. It is now who you are. When you realize that everything goes, you may fully enjoy the present moment with clarity, courage, and thankfulness. This helps you develop a free, strong, and deeply peaceful mind and heart. Acceptance is not giving up. It's the strongest thing you can do. Life wasn't easy for the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius was in charge during wars and plagues. Seneca was kicked out of the country and had to kill himself. Epictetus came into the world as a slave, but they were truly free from fear, anger, and opposition. They realized that being at peace doesn't mean controlling life. It means going along with it. That strength is not in control, but in discipline. When you follow these 7 rules, you can only control what you can. Look at everything as practice. Be at peace with nature. Let go of what you care about. Look inside yourself for strength. Love your fate. And don't forget that things don't last. You start to live with unshakable peace. You stop fighting with life and start working with it. You cease being a victim of life when you accept it as it is and become its master. Keep in mind that what you fight against stays, but what you accept changes you.